Hi, I'm Macy Short,
And I'm Taneri.
and today we're going to be discussing misogyny in advertising, because when is advertising not misogynistic?
Right.
Um,
So I think for today we're gonna watch a few videos
Mhm.
and just kind of react and see what we think about it.
yeah, and I've watched all of the videos that we're going to be discussing today. I don't know if you have.
I watched
Which
a
is
few of them.
Fine. There are some that are like very blatantly misogynistic,
Yeah.
and then there are some that are like very subtly hinting at the misogyny and just depictions of women. So I'm interested to see your reaction to those.
Yeah, me too.
Honestly. For the first one that I have pulled up, surprise, surprise, it's Elf. I'm not sure if you've seen, but Elf has been under a lot of fire recently. In the summer, I believe it was, they came out with an ad featuring Matt Rife. He is a very, cisgender, heterosexual man who made some domestic violence jokes
Right.
during
Because
his
that's how
set.
we joke nowadays.
Yeah. So he kind of lost a bit of his platform there, and Elf still decided to hire him for an ad.
And that's the ad we're gonna be looking at, or
no? So this is kind of like their bounce back ad. This is the first majorly produced ad since then. So this is going to be for Elf Skin.
Okay.
It's like a skincare line from Elf.
And it's called For a Face Card That Never Declines.
Yes. Keep that line in mind.
Unlock a new world of benefits with high yield radiance.
Oh.
3 times the double takes. And unprecedented access.
Okay. Oh.
What the elf? I'll take all of this.
Cash your card.
Face card. Introducing Elf Skin Vitamin C, E, and Ferulic Serum. Elfective 15% vitamin C formula for unstoppable brightness.
Lethal. But you still need to pay for this.
I didn't slave for this.
No, that's not what I said.
Your machine is broken.
They're brand new.
Wait, get my good side. And my other good side.
Okay. Her face card's insane.
This lighting is criminal. Let's do it again. Apply now for a face card that never declines. Can you email these to me?
Interesting. So that is not where I thought it was going to go.
Okay, where did you think it was going to go?
I don't know. I think in the beginning, because all the attention was she's walking around, she's beautiful, obviously. Everybody's paying attention to her. I thought the message was going to be more I could do whatever I want, which is kind of what was presented.
Yeah.
But then it still kind of brought the reality check of,
yeah,
well, actually, you did steal. You can't just pay with a face card. I thought it was going to be...
Yeah, she skipped line.
She would get there and pay, and her face was, not going to decline.
Yeah.
Because that's what the title was. But.
Yeah. And reality sense of it kind of ruined the ad.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the whole, restaurant scene was okay, you would not just cut line in front of all those people, and, she tripped over the red, thing. She knocked over a whole thing. That's crazy.
Yeah.
And, for me, whenever I first watched it, I was oh, so y'all think women are dumb. Beauty is everything.
Right.
Beauty's gonna get me, a seat in the finest restaurants. It's gonna turn heads and, stop people, at the pool scene.
Mm-hmm.
There was that person that fell in the pool. There was a person that stopped leaf blowing or whatever they were doing. And then at the store, it was oh, I can just get whatever I want because I'm pretty.
Yeah, well, I think you're definitely on the right track. I think merging what you just said with kind of where my brain was going, there is that disconnect of reality of maybe we as females, we don't live in the same reality. We're so self-absorbed that the only thing that we really care about is whether our face card.
Yeah, whether we look good or not.
Right? And that's the only thing that, from this ad, all these things are happening. she ends up going to jail, and she's more worried about the
Yeah,
mugshot.
she was more worried about looking good in the mugshot. I'm like, girl, you're going to jail.
Right. So I
So-
definitely do think that there is some like subtle, and I think that's one thing that I'm very interested to see is just how subtle like this misogynistic messages can actually be through advertising.
I was gonna say, like, what do you think could have happened, like, in the ads production to maybe, like, shift the message? You know, like, what do you think they could have done differently, like, in the production of the ad itself to maybe portray it in a more positive light?
But I mean, I think just from what we talked about, just bringing it down to like a more realistic level, I think maybe had it been like she gets to the counter and then maybe we just leave it at that.
Yeah.
You know, like maybe she does pay
Yeah.
with actual money, actually pays and walks out. And then maybe we can route it more towards like forgetting that she had to pay because he's like so focused on the way that she looks instead of, because I do still understand, and I think that's what's tricky about advertising is how do we still send the message of the product without playing into those parts. So I do think like that's where like it's really difficult in advertising. So maybe just focusing on like the subtle hint of, yeah, her skin is glowing, but that doesn't mean that, you know, that's all there is.
That's
like,
all there is to her
right,
as a person.
right.
Yeah. If, like, yeah, the realistic, like, aspect of it was, you know, intriguing in the ad, I guess. But I almost feel like if the other characters in the ad were to play along with that, it would give it, like, a more, like, fictionalized vibe.
Yeah.
You know? And, like, then maybe it could, like, more entertaining, which is a lot of where ads are going nowadays.
Yeah.
You know? Like, the entertainment factor. Or even, like, if the main, like, woman herself, if she had, like, a reality check.
Right.
You know, in
right.
each of those instances.
And I think that's where, like, I was trying to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, my face card is where it's at, but I'm still here.
Yeah, you're
and,
still here.
like,
You're still human. Like, you're
present in
still, like,
reality.
maybe if she fell in the pool, like, she wasn't watching what she was
Yeah.
doing, you know, put down her face for the face card thing, you know, she came back up and she was like, oh, sorry, and, like, pulled out an actual card and, like, paid, you know, instead of just walking out.
I mean, I feel like we can talk about this for days.
Oh,
Because I
absolutely.
think even just that phrase, I don't really love the whole face card.
Absolutely
Because what does
not.
that imply?
No.
Like, the value of a woman or anybody is not just on the
It-
outside or on your physique and the way that,
Yeah.
you know, that your face looks. There's so much more to what we're
Anyone.
worth than
It's just how you look.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, just from that, but how do you feel about watching another video? Do you think we have time?
I would
Yeah.
love that, yes. So this one is from Razer, the technology company. It's for their noise canceling headphones.
I literally haven't even talked
I
to this
did
girl
see
for a
this
whole
one
year.
on TikTok.
I literally don't know why you're still trying to like.
This is crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And like, go ahead.
I was gonna say I'm glad it was on TikTok and not on national TV.
Yeah,
but
yeah. It would definitely reach like a smaller audience on TikTok. But also, I feel like it would be a more targeted.
Yeah, for sure.
Type
I think it
thing.
was very intentional.
Absolutely. And the whole, oh my gosh, I feel like we could also talk about this one all day because, you know, a lot of people who fall into like the gamer guy type thing, they are like online, obviously, a lot. They have started like commenting about like a male loneliness epidemic, which I think is absolutely insane.
Are you lonely?
Like, are you lonely or are you just like
not listening?
an asshole?
right?
You know, like, do you treat women with respect? Do you like?
And there's so many other ways that they could have done this. I mean, instead of having her talk, like, why don't just play? Maybe she's singing or like doing something, you know, that's not just talking, because
Mhm.
at that point I feel like that's a more personal activity, you know.
Yes.
You're talking to someone, you're trying to express yourself,
Mm-hmm.
you're doing it because you want to be heard.
Exactly.
It's not the same as, oh, he's trying to play and
Mhm.
maybe she's, I don't know, having a concert in the shower or
Yeah,
something
yeah,
like that.
like,
That's
there
more
were-
understandable.
Yeah, like doing like different activities.
Right.
And like
not
he,
exactly.
yes,
Yeah.
you know, or like she was listening to like an audiobook out loud, or like she
Mhm.
was like, you know, listening to her music out loud, and he was like reading or something, you know, like if it was portrayed that way, I could understand this ad a lot more than just like her talking about like
For sure.
a relationship issue.
Yeah. Like we said in the beginning, I think it was very intentional. I think they were trying to target a specific type of male, which I
Mhm.
think
They
a
did.
lot of them,
Oh,
like,
they definitely
they are
did.
definitely going through the struggle of adjusting to life with your partner, which
Mhm.
I totally understand. But again, I think that there were other ways they could have done it that
Mhm.
wasn't pretty much saying like whatever she had to say was not
whatever women have to say, like
Right.
it's not important. Get back to your games, bro. Like
Yeah.
it's all good. Just yeah. And I looked at some of the comments, and like there are loads of like men in those that are like, this is the greatest ad ever. Like this is gonna make me purchase this. Like all this and that. I'm like, y'all are all crazy.
Yeah, that's why it's so important to talk about these things, because
Mm-hmm.
advertising doesn't just sell the product, right?
Yeah,
And-
it sells attitudes.
right.
And
so
it
we're
sells how people-
normalizing
yes.
this type of thinking. So
Yes.
men are seeing this,
And you know, they're probably like people who didn't see the ad. They're probably telling them.
right?
And they're like, "Oh, I saw this great ad. It was so funny."
it was so funny.
Like, it was-
and I can even see, like, in a relationship type, like, I can even see, like, a boyfriend seeing the TikTok and sharing it with her, thinking it's funny.
like it's
without-
funny.
yeah.
And then she like, yeah.
I love how we're, like, gradually, like, going up the scale from
Mhm.
subtle to, like, more
Yeah.
in your face, because I
Because the
definitely
next
think,
one-
yep,
The next one is crazy.
Yeah.
The next one is crazy. Just a preface, it is not one that was produced in America. It was
it was produced in Argentina. It's under a campaign that was called "The Truth is Refreshing" from Sprite. So the whole it's a whole series of different ads where they're telling the truth. So let's keep that in mind while we watch this next video.
it's definitely, I'm gonna make sure that I have on subtitles.
Yep.
Because I don't know Spanish.
Alguien se pregunta, ¿por qué las mujeres lloran por todo? Es
Oh.
su forma de expresarse, le sale así naturalmente. Mares y mares de lágrimas derramados por
Seas and
despedidas,
seas.
nacimientos, pelos teñidos, ropa que no
Overdyed
queda,
hair,
agua
clothes that
fría,
don't fit,
no,
cold water.
No, sí, sí. Novios
Wow.
que se van, novios que vuelven. Son tantas las cosas que las pueden hacer llorar. Que es más fácil
The
hacerlas
bubbles
reír
make me cry.
que
That's
tratar
what
de
she said.
entenderlas. Porque las mujeres lloran por todo. Espera, las cosas
And they try to fix it at the end with that last bit. I don't know if you
Mhm.
caught that.
Yeah.
Because then they end up in that note of they cry over everything, which is the predominant message in this whole
Yeah.
ad. But then they're like, it's just easier to make them laugh than understand them. Like,
Like that's not gonna.
How is
that's
that
not gonna.
any-
That's not a
right.
Band-Aid. That's
it's really not. And one of the things that we talked about when we were discussing this video earlier for the people watching,
Mhm.
I think it's very surreal to me just how, like, they were very specific in America to do, like, the TikTok for that specific
Mhm.
audience. This
Like-
ad was, like, it was the complete opposite. Like, this
Mhm.
was broadcasted through TV. It
Mhm.
was, like, even if you went to the movies, it was, like, on the
That is
pre-show advertising.
crazy.
Like, it was up there, like,
Yeah.
for anybody to see. And I think it kind of speaks to that cultural part
Mhm.
of just how normalized misogyny is in
Yeah.
some other cultures. So I definitely think that maybe because we're kind of going back into that, we're in the digital age, right? Everything is with TikTok, with platforms like this, everything's being shared so much that we kind of lose kind of that control of
like cultural
Right.
context in our own cultures.
Right. So
you
we
know?
start merging like what's normal for other people because
Yes.
we're constantly
being
to
like
it,
shared cultures.
So, right.
You know? Really interesting that it was like broadcast everywhere. That's crazy.
It was. And one thing that I also did with this one, because I remember watching that series of ads, but I went in there and I found some that were actually produced in Puerto Rico versus this one that was produced in Argentina. So it was under the same campaign, but the message that were chosen like were different. So
that is really
yeah,
interesting. Like the Elf ad, it was like a lot of like subliminal messaging, and like with the Razor ad, like if you just like looked at it from like face value, you know, I could see it being, you know, like funny, entertaining, whatever. This is just misogynistic. This is just like women cry all the time over everything. Like even if you're trying to make them laugh.
Well, the first one we saw was again a female value is just on
her
the
face.
way that we look.
Yes.
And then the second one we watch, it's all about
oh, you don't need to listen to women.
we're
Like
not
she's
valuable,
annoying.
like what we
Yes.
say. But then this one, it's like all of these things combined. Like we're self-absorbed, we're hormonal,
Like we're crying over
we're-
clothes. We're
yeah.
crying over water. Like we're crying over things that like just aren't working out for us.
right.
You know, like kind of that.
Like
No-
it's pushing the stereotype,
Yeah, like
all
women
the
have no
way.
self-control.
right?
Like, oh, they're selfish. You know, like they only want what pleases them.
Right.
You know?
Like there's so many things that we could dissect from all of these
yeah.
videos.
Like
we
when
could
in
do that.
reality, like women sacrifice a lot.
Mhm.
Like especially in patriarchal societies. You know, like women are supposed to be at home with the kids, have a
Yeah.
job. You know, like did you watch Barbie?
growing up.
No, like the movie Barbie, like the newest
So
one.
many-
But in the Barbie movie, like America Ferrera, she goes on like that's the
Oh,
actress's
I
name.
did see
yes,
it.
Yes,
I did see
yes.
it. Okay.
That like
Never mind.
the whole monologue. She's just like women like have to give
Yeah.
and give and give, and they're not supposed to complain, and they're not supposed to do this and this and this,
Yeah.
or else they'll be portrayed like this. But then if they do this, like it's just so much like hypocrisy like around being a woman, and like I feel like that was so like evident here,
Yeah.
you know, in this ad.
Well, I think another thing that, even though we've seen like a rise on misogynistic content, I think we're also being more aware of it. So there is a little bit more of an effort to push kind of that opposite agenda in movies like Barbie. But anyways, I think that was all that we wanted to share for today.
So going forward in the future, in your own personal, you know, platforms, in your own personal life, you know, like first of all, don't be misogynistic.
Right.
Like really think about the intention of your words and your actions, you know, against all people really, especially if you are in like a role where you do communicate with people, you know, like acknowledge the representation of women in media, and then also like be mindful of how you can prevent those misrepresentations in the future.
The problem is it extends so much further.
It's
than
so
just,
it's
like,
such a deep issue.
Yeah, it really
like there's
is.
so many
We can
different
talk about it,
contributing
but
factors.
Just to add on to what you say, I think another big part of that is this representation. And I think you and I, as communication professionals, will kind of prove that looking in the future, I really do hope that we end up, you know, in those type of roles, being part of creative decisions.
Yeah.
So hopefully, if you're out there, need a job, I'm here.
Yeah. Also call me.
Right.
We will link our LinkedIn's down below. But anyway, okay. You have to go to class.
You do.
I am going to edit this video. So,
Yay.